Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of One Man Stream. Today's episode is actually a one-man stream Q&A, and what we're going to do is we're going to combine two previous tutorials. The one was when we showed you how to add functions to vMix UTC, where we added the SetColor function, and we're going to use that today. And then the other tutorial was one that we did a while back regarding penalty kicks. And evidently I didn't explain that very well, and so that's what I'm going to right that wrong today. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Joshua Hughes 3669, he wrote in, "Great video. I'm having trouble creating the clear all shots button as you didn't cover how to do this in the video." Well, I apologize for not covering it in the video, but since then we've added that new SetColor function to vMix UTC, and it's going to be so much easier to explain. So let's go to GT Title Designer, and you can see over here, layer 1, you can see all these different dots. This is home white dot 1, home white dot 2, all the way up to white dot 5, and then visitor white dot 1 to 5, home red dot 1 to home red dot 5, and so forth. So we had to create a set of dots for visiting team and for the home team, for the players taking the penalty kick, and we used white for a placeholder. And then if they were successful on their shot attempt, they got a green dot in its place, and it added a total of 1 to their score, their penalty kick score. And then if they were not successful, a red dot came up, and it would not add anything to their score since they were not successful. This is what the controller looked like that we created in vMix UTC. Over here in the NDI monitor, we're looking at the preview from our main vMix production. And then this right here is the penalty kicks portion of our soccer score graphic. So we have these two buttons right here. This one says clear all visiting shots, and this one says clear all home shots. And this is the original scripting that I did for the original tutorial. You click this button right here, and you can see all the visiting shots go away. And if I click this button right here, you can see all the home shots go away, and all it shows is the placekeepers for them. So what we did, and I'm going to look behind this one right here that's for the first visiting kicker. If the visiting kicker did not score, this is what would happen. So we're going to come over here and we're going to click on the title index, and we're looking for number 16 image, and image is the same as source. So what this would do is it would set visible on for visiting red dot 1, and that means we're going to put a red dot in the first position on the visitor side. So let's see if that is what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this, and we're going to toggle the caption to get rid of it. So let's come over here and we're going to click on no score. And you can see in the first position a red dot did come in. Well, on the second one we're going to say they score. So we're going to right click on this, we're going to toggle the caption. We're going to click on the cog, and what happens when someone is successful, again, we brought in that same graphic, and then we're going to execute this link after we put the dot on that says add 1 VIS, which is add 1 to the visiting score, and I'll show you where that comes from in just a moment. So let's look under index, under the title index for 5 image or 5 source. And that's going to be visiting green 2. So in the second position on the visitor side, we're going to put a green dot. So let's right click on this, toggle the caption again, and we're going to click goal. And you can see right here a green dot is put in. Now you can also see that anytime we click goal, I'm going to click goal right here. You also see where the visiting score or the penalty kick score goes up by a digit of 1. Well, how do we do that? There are 2 pieces of script there, and on the second piece of script, there was something that said execute link, add 1 VIS. Well, I'll show you where that comes from now. Let's go over here to visiting score. To the left-hand side, I check the box for reset, and I check the box for +1. So when we execute the link add one VIS, we're going to add 1 to the visitor score. And that is indeed what is happening. I also checked on reset. So when I use the reset function, we are going to clear all the visitor shots. Okay, so where does this come from? Well, this comes from right here. Let's right click on this. When we clear all the shots, we're actually just executing 2 links, clear visiting red and clear visiting green. That's going to take the red dots away, the green dots away, and it's going to leave us with just the white placeholders. So where did those come from? Those actually come from right here. Let's right click on this, toggle caption, click on this, and you can see right here, I ticked the box for execute link, clear visiting green, and what I did is I clicked on this plus script 5 times. So I clicked on it the first time, it gave me 0, then it gave me 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So we clicked on it 5 times, and each time I'm using the command SetVisibleOff on the penalty kick graphic for a different index. So the index that I've chosen is 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. And since I'm working with the visiting green, you would think those indexes would be VG 1 through 5. So let's look. Again, it's 6 through 2. So we're going to go sources 6 through 2. So source 6 is visiting green 1, 5 is visiting green 2, visiting green 3, visiting green 4, and visiting green 5. So you can see when I click that button, it's executing that link, and all it's doing is it's setting SetVisibleOff for each one of these titles, but it's doing it with the click of one button because I added all these different pieces of script onto the clear visiting green button. Same thing for clear visiting red. Same thing. We have the set SetVisibleOff 5 times, and it's from 15 through 12. I'm sorry, from 16 through 12. So let's look what they are. 16 is visiting red, 16 is visiting red 1, and 12 is visiting red 5. So what that's going to do is it's going to clear all the dots for the visiting red side. So that's the way we set it up initially. So let's go ahead and bring in this again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a much easier way to do this. I'm going to click on this first dot right here. I'm going to hold my shift key down and I'm going to go to the bottom where it says home white 1. So this is all the dots. This is all the green dots, all the red dots, and all the white dots for the home and visitor, and I'm going to delete them. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here on the ellipse. We're going to make us an ellipse, and I did a little fiddling around with it earlier so I know exactly what size it needs to be. It needs to be 40 by 40, and we're going to make the fill color of this white, and we're going to come over here to where we put in ellipse 1, and we're going to double click on it, and we're going to call this V1. And you can see where it changes to V1. So let's go ahead and put it up here where we want it. If you click on the menu bar and then use your arrows, it allows you to fine adjust it. So we're going to put that here. Okay, so then we're going to click on it, right click and copy, right click and paste. Then we're going to use our arrow keys again. And you saw where it changed to V2. So now on the V2, we're going to right click and copy and right click and paste. Use the arrow key. Going to change that to V3. Right click, copy, right click, paste. Changes it to V4. Again, we're going to use our arrow keys. Right click, copy, right click, paste once again. We're going to use our arrow keys one more time. And those are our placeholders for the visiting player. So let's go ahead and right click and copy and right click and paste. And we're going to bring this one all the way over to the other side. And we are going to call this one H1 for home.1. Then we're going to right-click and copy. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste. There we go. Changes to H3. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste. H4. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste. H5. And so now we have our placeholders for both sides. On each one of these, if we go up here under data, you can see where they're going to be hidden. And we don't want them to be hidden. We want them to show. So I'm going to uncheck the box that says hidden. I'm going to check the box that says show visible toggle. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. And I'm going to have to go to this look right here. And the reason why is now that I've changed how these dots are going to behave, I need to re-import this graphic. So I'm going to click on the cog button. I'm going to go to change. I'm going to click on recent. And then I'm going to bring in the graphic that we just tweaked. Anytime we make any changes in our vMix production, if we're adding assets to it, we need to come back over here and we need to resync. So I'm going to resync it. Then we're going to go back to this look right here. So now when I right click and click on the title editor and go to color, we have all of those in there, which is what we want. So as you can see right now, if I click on this, the 6 Fs, that's white. So all of these are currently white right now. So all we're going to do now is we're going to just change the color of them through the SetColor function in vMix UTC. So let's go here over here under score. And we're going to call this score player or visiting player 1. And since this isn't totally fully integrated, and I do encourage you to watch the tutorial we did on SetColor, we have to go back to this and we have to click on this in order to find the colors. The numbering would start here at the very top, which would be 0. This would be 0, 1, and then it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's go here over here under score, and we're going to click on the script, and I'm going to type in SetColor, and it brings in these parameters for me. I have to choose the input. You have to put the hashtag in here. So let's put the hashtag. So the hexadecimal color is the number sign or hashtag 008000. Click OK. Now let's click on it. There we go. So that is for a score. So we're going to hit this duplicate button right here. And we're going to bring this over. And we're going to make this one no score. Visiting player 1. And then what we're going to do this time, so no score, we'd be using the exact same index, but we're going to make it red for no score. So that's when we're going to put in the FF and the 4 zeros. So we're going to go hashtag FF1234 and click OK. So now when we push this button, no score, it changes it to red. So if they score, it's going to make it green. If they don't score, it's going to make it red. Okay, so how do we clear it? Well, that's very easy. So we're going to duplicate this again. And we're just going to call this clear visiting player 1. And when we clear it, all we're going to do is we're going to put it back to that initial color. And that initial color was white. And we know that's just 6 Fs for white. And click OK. So let's clear it now and see what happens. It goes white. So for visiting player 1, when they score, it's green. When they don't score, it's going to come up red. And then at the end, when we want to clear it, we'll just click right there. I'm also going to put something in here under Execute for Clear Visiting Player 1. And I'll show you just in a moment why. So that's just for the very first player. So then we're going to duplicate this, bring it down. We're going to call this Visiting Player 2. We're going to change this from 11 to 10. And click OK. So now when Visiting Player 2 scores, it puts in a green dot right here. And now we're going to duplicate this, bring this down, and this is for a no score Visiting Player 2. And no score is going to be red, and the same thing, except we got to change this to 10. So let's click on that. Now it turns to red. And if we want to clear it, call this Visiting Player 2, change this to 10. This is going to be Clear Visiting Player 2. And then I'm just going to do one more. It would be the exact same thing for the home team side, except you would be using the different indexes. For that, you'd have to find the index for home team 1 through 5. And I showed you how to do that by just going to bringing it up, right-clicking on it in Preview, and then bringing up the title editor, and then go to Colors, start at 0, and count your way down. So I'm going to do one more of this. We're going to call this Score Visiting Player 3. This is going to be number 9. Click OK. It does turn green. Duplicate it. Bring it down. We're going to call this No Score Visiting Player 3. Again, change it to 9. Click OK. Click on it. It turns red. And then right here, we're going to duplicate the clear once again. This is Visiting Player 3. Change it to 9. So if we click on it, it's going to go white. Clear Visiting Player 3, Clear Visiting Player 2, it goes white. Let's say Player 1 scores, Player 2 and 3 do not. You can see where it comes up green, white, white. Let's clear them all. Let's say they all score. Score Visiting Player 1 green, Visiting Player 2 green, Visiting Player 3 green. They all score, and then we'll clear them. And you can see we have to clear them one at a time. Well, we can do one better than that. We're going to make us a button here. Go up to Widget. Make a button here. We're going to call this Clear All. And we're going to click this 3 times because we've only created 3 buttons so far. We want to clear them all. So it's going to be Execute Link, Clear Visiting Player 1, Execute Link, Clear Visiting Player 2, Execute Link, Clear Visiting Player 3. So let's go ahead and make them all good. And let's see if we click the Clear All button if it does what we want it to. And it does. It takes them all away. And all we did was use the Execute Link for the link that we put in each one of the buttons. For Clear Visiting Player 1, we checked the Execute box. In the link, we hit Clear Visiting Player 1. For Visiting Player 2, again, we check the Execute Link, Clear Visiting Player 2. And then for Visiting Player 3, again, we check the Execute with the link of Clear Visiting Player 3. So when we use that command, Execute Link, it's this link right here that it's executing. So that's what we did here. We just came over here, we clicked the plus button 3 times. It brought in these 3 command lines. We put in Execute Link 3 times. And then the link, Clear visiting player 1, clear visiting player 2, and clear visiting player 3. Okay, and as you can see, that is so much easier than the way that we did it before, where we were having to set visible on and visible off, turning a whole bunch of things on, turning a whole bunch of things off, having to create a whole bunch of different sets of color dots. Here, all we do is we create 5 dots using the ellipsis function in GT Title Designer, and then all we do is we use the SetColor function that we added to vMix UTC to change the color of those dots to green or to red, depending on whether they were successful at their penalty kick or not. That's going to conclude our tutorial today, where we talked about merging a couple of our previous tutorials, the one that we did on adding functions to vMix UTC, and then the one that we did on the soccer penalty kick graphic. If you get a moment, please stop by our website, onemanstream.com, where you'll find most of the graphics that we've created during this series, along with most of the vMix UTC controllers. The graphics and controllers are just a few dollars a piece, but it is a way that you can help support One Man Stream. And as always, thank you so much.